so that nobody can give out to us. We are. We're up. We're on running. So, and welcome to our 11 o'clock webinar with a focus activity 1 to 3. This is our 1 to 3 level. So if you are joining us, please write your name, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and tell us what school you're a student of. So while we're waiting for Emily to come back, I'll introduce myself. My name is Cathal. As you can see here, very, very strange name. The reason for this is because I am from Ireland. So this is an Irish name. Yeah, my hometown is just to the north of Dublin, and I am living in Milan, and I have been living in Milan for just over 1 year now. So it's just been just over 1 year since I started in Milano Medioevali. And I really like it so far. I am still here, so it's good. It's good to be a part of the team. Emily will shortly be joining us to get involved. She's just loading up the slides at the moment. So once she arrives, we can get started with the lesson. In the meantime, as you guys are coming into the lesson, please write down something. Just write down a small fact about yourselves. Tell us something interesting, maybe that you are doing at the moment while at home.
Okay, I think I'm with you now. Hello, everyone.
Aha! There you are.
Okay, good. You can hear me now. Everything's okay.
Yeah, it sounds like there might be just a big delay between us, but I'll try and stop loading the different things now. I'll try and avoid loading anything in the background. I had to turn off my camera because my internet this morning is not being cooperative.
Don't worry. The slides are most important anyway.
Exactly. So we had one person, but I think I scared them off either with my robot voice or because it was just a blank screen.
Yes, I think that can be a bit surprising. But yeah, so I'm guessing that you introduced yourself already.
I did.
Yeah.
I took a very, very long time to do that.
Very good, very good. The best introductions are the long ones. So
oh yeah.
Just so I do as well, my name is Emily and I'm from the UK originally. Very short introduction compared to yours, I'm sure.
Nice. Nice, nice. All right. So while we wait, Emily, at the moment I'm trying to. So while we're waiting for people to come in, I just wanted to run something by you very quickly.
Yeah.
I am trying. So at the moment I'm kind of doing some of the posts for the Instagram page for Medivili, right? And I'm trying to come up with some like interesting things to put up on stories or to put up in in posts and such. And one
Mhm.
idea that I had was to do like a quiz of do you know the teachers? Do you know
Right.
your teachers in MyS
Yeah.
Medivili? So I've already kind of assembled some info about a couple of different teachers, Lisa and Caesar and myself,
Mhm.
and I'm going to be posting these over the next while. So would you like to be a part of that? Would you maybe do you want to give me three like random facts about yourself?
I can do that. I prefer no pictures on
Yeah,
if
of course.
possible.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I can do that. I'll have a think about things to say.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Uh, yeah.
So we'll have a look at that. Maybe have a look at that off screen, so we won't give away
Hmm.
any random facts. You know.
Yeah. No, there are a limited amount of facts about me. So
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I am like James Bond. I don't give away too
Ah,
much of my life.
um, mysterious, mysterious. I like
Mm,
it. I like it. Okay, so let's get into our focus for today,
yeah.
which is writing a postcard, which
Mm,
some of our viewers might recognize as something that we covered before. We didn't cover all of this though, so we
mhm,
felt it would be a good idea to come back to this activity just to do a recap and
mhm.
also to maybe cover some new ideas that we didn't think of in the previous one.
Yeah, yeah, because if you watch the webinars a lot, you will notice that we repeat some of the topics um,
Yeah.
just to talk about different things in them to really help you to understand everything.
We
Um,
hope you understand anyway.
yeah, we do. Well, yes, absolutely. To remember, then to remember. Sometimes you understand, but it's difficult to keep the information in your head after the lesson or a few days
Yeah,
or weeks
exactly.
later. Yeah. So, do you often write postcards, Cahill? I think we talked about this a little last time.
Yeah, so I I often write postcards when I go on holiday. However, it's kind of not very common that I go on holidays anymore now. So
Mhm.
I think the frequency with which I write them is a bit less than before. What about
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, I'm not very good at remembering to write them. I think
Mm,
some members of my family would like me to write them, but I don't very often.
mm. Yeah, it is one of those things that your family kind of expect you
Mhm.
to write them, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, why didn't you send one? Why haven't you sent
Mhm.
a postcard? I'm like, because I either you've forgotten or you just don't want to.
Yeah, and also now you have to buy stamps that you can see in the corner. We
Mm,
call those stamps, and you have to um, decide how the address works. I think with
yeah,
airmail that can be difficult if you're in another country and you're not sure
yeah.
how to make sure it goes to the right place.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I used to write all of my fake letters in primary
Mhm.
school. I remember whenever I was writing a letter, I would always write uh, Cahill's address, but Mammy's house, Mammy's Road,
Mm.
Ireland.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like you're going to say it was in Ireland, the world, or
Oh
Ireland,
yeah, the world.
Europe, the
The
world.
world it could have been, yeah, that could have been another edition
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm. I know I definitely did that myself.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
it's just one of those things that you're like you like even when you're a grown adult then as well, you're not sure what
Yeah.
specific information is required then. It's like, do
Mhm.
I need to put this? Maybe
Exactly.
I think more information is better than less.
That's probably true. But
Mm,
some people who work with the post are amazing in the mail service. Like, well, I
yeah.
remember stories about, for example, people who write letters to Santa, and they send it
Hmm.
to the right place. They send it to
Oh yeah.
organizations or things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, it's great. It's great. I usually for that small scale kind of thing, the post office I find is very useful. However,
Mm.
I had a terrible experience with the post office here in
Really?
Milan recently. Yeah, I ordered a package to be delivered. It was just two t-shirts and a jumper. Like it's just something I bought from Amazon,
Mhm.
and I asked it to be delivered to our school because at the time I was in the school more often than I was at home. So
Mhm.
I thought it would be better to get it sent there. And I received a notification saying that I was required to go to the post office to collect
Oh,
it. And so I was like, oh, okay, right, that's interesting.
yeah.
So I went to the post office and they asked me for €20 because they were holding the package and
Oh,
because they were
no.
keeping the package safe. And I was like, but I didn't ask you to hold
Yeah.
the uh,
Oh,
yeah. So after I paid, they asked me for identification. And I was like, surely you should have asked me for identification before I paid.
mhm. Yeah, that's true.
uh,
They're more
and
interested in the
then I
money.
gave my exactly, yeah, I gave my identification, and then they just did not accept my passport because the name on the package was just Cathal Grennan, whereas the
Right.
name on my passport is Cathal David Grennan, which
Oh,
includes my middle name. And so they were
oh,
like, no, no, this is not you. This is not you. And I'm like, how many Cathal Grennans do you think there are in Milan
yeah.
trying to take these t-shirts and jumper out of this specific post office?
Yeah, that does seem a bit unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my
Um,
experience, which is forever ruined the post office, I think, for
oh
me.
no, yeah, no, it can be stressful to go to places like that.
Yeah, certainly was not a nice experience, but
No.
yeah. But when you send postcards and stuff,
Mhm.
um, where do you usually send postcards from?
Mm. So normally for me, from holiday, really, if
Ah,
I
yes.
go somewhere, I think especially when I was a child and I went on holiday with
Mm-hmm.
some family members, I sent postcards to other people, like my grandparents who were not
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, I do know people who send postcards like letters, like normal letters, and they
Okay.
just send ones with pictures of their hometown or with a picture of something random on one side.
Yeah.
But I have never really done that myself.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but it's quite nice. The nice thing about a postcard is there is a limit to what you can write.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't be a 5-page letter.
Yeah, and like I often find that when you write text messages as well,
Mm,
sometimes the amount that you write is crazy.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, mm. What about you, Carl? Where do you send postcards from?
So I'm the same as you. Whenever I go abroad on holidays, I usually send
Mm,
postcards. Um, but recently, on holidays, I have started to write like a diary
mm,
while I'm on holidays. So when I go abroad, I have a lovely day, and then at the end of the day, I write kind of a short summary of what I did that day.
mm.
And so at the end of the holiday, I have like, this is what I did on each different day. And so in that way, it kind of it lets me obviously to remember what I did, but also it kind of forces me to do something different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just be writing the same thing every
Mhm.
day in
Yes.
the post in the diary. Like so
Yeah.
today, I went to the shop,
Mhm.
and yesterday I went to the shop.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
So it would just
that's
all be
why
the
I
same
stopped
thing.
writing a diary. I used to keep one, but it became
Mm.
too repetitive, I think.
Yeah, I imagine
I
so.
feel that
Yeah.
is a good idea. And is that
Mm.
just for you, or do you show other people the diary after?
So it started off as just for me, but then after I went to New York,
Mhm.
I decided to share that with my family and friends because uh, obviously it was a really nice trip, so I wanted to tell people about it. But
Mhm.
then as well, I experienced a scam while I was in New York. So I was like, okay, warn people. You need to tell
Yeah.
people that this is a
Mhm.
bad thing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
but that was
Nice,
it.
nice idea.
Mm. Yeah, I
Mm.
liked it, and now like even I can look back on it and just kind of read about it. It's like, oh, that was my time in New York. I really want
Yeah,
to go back. Oh.
yeah. I have terrible diaries. I think I kept a diary as a teenager, so I have horrible diaries when I
Mm.
was about 13 that I both
Ah,
do and don't want to look at again. Um,
yeah.
and I think I kept one for about a year
Okay.
when I was in Brighton. So 2 years ago, maybe for about a year. But then
Okay.
life became too repetitive, and I just stopped.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm, okay.
So it appears that I've scared people off again with my stories.
Yeah, well, it's it's Friday, I suppose. Everyone
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
coming and going on a Friday.
Yeah, no, like people have places to go, you know?
Mhm.
They've got stuff to do, like oh wait,
People to
no, they
see.
don't.
Mm. Yeah. Well, things to think about doing.
Exactly. To plan.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not?
So maybe
Right.
because we talked about some of this last time, maybe we should move forward a little.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 'Cause this one might be quite good to talk about.
Yes.
Um, Different places with where. Oh, we have two viewers now again. So here are some possible answers for where are you? We have I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Istanbul, I'm by the sea, I'm in the mountains, and I'm in the countryside.
Mm.
So so when do we use in?
Yes. This is the question because the preposition in, it's very kind of tricky. Any prepositions are difficult to know where do they go in the sentence because the kind of typical thing to do is when you do not know, just to say in. Right? It's like,
Yes.
oh god, I don't know. Let's just say in, just
Hmm.
in case. So in is the preposition that is kind of used. So when we're talking about place, it's quite a big place, I would say, right?
Hmm.
That's quite
Yeah.
a general area. So you would say in a country or in a city or in for maybe your neighborhood.
Hmm.
Um, Again, in the mountains, in the countryside.
Hmm.
These are all quite like large areas.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe not so specific because you are not
yeah.
saying exactly which mountain or the village in the countryside. It's very, very
Hmm.
general.
Exactly. And you're kind of this is it's something that kind of people often make the mistake of when you're talking about your position,
Hmm.
like where I am now. So now I am in Milan. Okay. I was in the countryside in Ireland, but
Hmm.
whenever we talk about movement, when we say where you're going, I'm going
Hmm.
to. So to is this is the kind of main point of confusion.
Yeah.
To is the preposition that we use for movement,
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
to B,
Very important.
A
Yeah.
to
So
B.
I'm going to the shops.
Yeah. Whereas in is for your position,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's for country or city, neighborhood, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Something that is big enough to contain you. So an area that is bigger than you.
All right. So that's a very important thing to remember.
Hmm. Yeah. So the different one we have here is I'm by the sea. So
Hmm.
by is like next to. So if you think about the sea, if you go to the sea, you do not stay in the water. And
Hmm.
it's very unlikely that you are always swimming. You swim in the sea, yeah, because you are in the water,
Yeah.
but you stay
Yeah.
next to it. You are near the sea. So we just use by for the preposition there.
Hmm. For sure. For sure.
Okay.
Okay. So this, in terms of writing a postcard, guys,
Mhm.
it's like where are you? You're giving the area, right? So this is
Mhm.
why we're using these prepositions because this is
Yeah.
your position.
Hmm. Exactly. And sometimes when you write a postcard, maybe you will give the reason for being on holiday,
Mm.
say why you are there and why
Yeah.
you are in this location. So here are
Hmm.
some possible answers. We have for a holiday, for some sightseeing, for a vacation, for work. So in general, we use for with these reasons. So I am here for, I am in the mountains for.
Exactly.
And what is sightseeing for anyone
Mm.
watching for Carol? What is sightseeing?
So sightseeing, if we kind of split it into two words, sight and seeing. The first part, sight, is a famous place,
Mm-hmm.
kind of famous landmark or a monument. And obviously, seeing is the action. So when you see something or you go to somewhere. So sightseeing is the activity of going around a city and looking at all of the famous monuments, landmarks, places in that
Mm-hmm.
city.
Yeah.
It's usually something that you do on a bus, usually something like, because if you, I don't know about any other cities around. I'm sure like most major cities in
Yeah.
the world have the brand city sightseeing
Mm-hmm.
uh, buses in them, so you can get onto the bus and you can go around the city and look at all the really cool places.
Yeah, absolutely. So bus is most common. It can just be walking as well. You can be more independent, sightseeing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, for me, it
I often
depended.
prefer just walking as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I
It's a
think.
bit more freedom.
Yeah, and you feel the atmosphere of the place quite
Mm,
well, I think, walking.
yeah, as opposed to just, oh, there's a cool thing. Click, 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 the camera.
Yeah, I know. That's something that frustrates me sometimes about tourists.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And like I think back to my trip in New York, for example, is that my friend and I, we thought about getting the sightseeing bus around,
Mm,
but then in the end we decided not to do it because um, A, we didn't really want to get on a bus because it was very hot.
yeah.
um, and B, well, like the second reason, we already had discovered so many of the regular places that the bus would go
Yeah,
to, so
exactly. Hmm.
we wanted to go to less well-known places.
Yeah, I think the only time I took the bus I was in Paris and I was with my grandma, so she couldn't walk
Ah,
very well. So we took the bus
of course.
and that was nice.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Another thing to mention here is the difference between holiday and vacation. So
Mm,
there is no difference in the meaning. They are the same, but holiday is the British English term and vacation is
yes,
more American. So
exactly,
you
exactly.
can use both.
100%. And like holiday, you could also use to refer to like a public holiday. So not
Hmm.
just like the period of time that you go abroad, but like your Christmas holidays, Easter
Hmm.
holidays. This is
Yeah.
like the time you have free from work.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
And
yes,
with
you can use it that way too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Some people do travel for a public holiday for Christmas or something like that.
Hmm.
One final thing, so for work or for business, there is no ah. It's just the word for work for business.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't count it.
Mm. We have like there's other options you can say for these things, guys. It's
Mhm.
not just for a holiday, for some
Yeah.
sightseeing, for a vacation, for work.
Mhm.
There are other prepositions to use. But the simplest one to remember is for because you can use it in most cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for and a noun.
Yes, exactly. For plus noun.
Mhm.
Nice.
Okay. And when you travel, Kahal, why do you travel?
Um, so I think I travel mostly for sightseeing, but
Mhm.
also to discover new places.
Mhm.
I So I was very lucky in when I was younger that my family we went on holidays a few times. So we went to Spain or we went to Italy. And one holiday actually we went to New Zealand, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
So that was very lucky in that regard to
Mm.
experience those. So I really wanted to start that just to discover new places because these
Mm.
different countries all have different aspects and different history which I'm
Yeah.
really interested in, so that kind of thing I really like. What about you?
Yeah, similar for me, absolutely. sightseeing in general. So I prefer to visit cities than the countryside in general.
Yeah.
And yeah, see other cultures and maybe relax in a different way. To use your brain in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one thing I think that you need to do differently, because a lot of the time people um think that when you're on holidays, it's do go all the
Mhm.
time. And I just prefer to relax, to let things happen,
Yeah.
not really to make solid plans, but if
Mhm.
something does happen, then go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's maybe a positive for going on holiday, either alone or with people that you are very comfortable with. And I think in that circumstance, it's easier to let things happen to you, to just go with the flow, as we say.
Go with the flow. I am the guy to go with the flow.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Okay. So maybe we won't spend very long on this slide,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, we
maybe
don't really need to.
say who you are with, and we always use preposition with and the person that you want to say. So we have here my
Mhm.
family, my boyfriend, girlfriend, some friends, maybe my colleague if you're traveling for work. But
Mm.
these are probably the most common answers here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to say about this, Carl?
Um, I don't think so. Yeah, no, because who is literally just the person, and so it's very kind of short.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So we often want to describe what the place is like. We want to say how we feel about it, maybe some characteristics of the place. This is often the most interesting part of a postcard because you
Mhm.
want to know about someone's experience and
Yeah.
not just exactly the facts. So we use this question, what's it like, to ask someone to describe something. And these are some very common adjectives we can use, and they are opposites as well. So I don't think we have anyone to help us with this activity. But
Unfortunately.
no, so we are all by ourselves today.
Oh
Um,
no! Oh god, the pressure's on us. Oh, I've
I
never had to do
know,
this.
I know nothing. I know nothing. So
Oh
we
dear.
we do have to match the adjectives here. So what is the opposite of beautiful?
Um, Cahill. I mean, wait, no. Ugly would say would be the
Yeah.
opposite.
And Cathal, is that emotional or is it just about physical appearance?
I think that, yeah, well, the primary thing, I guess, when people say these words, and the main connotation would be appearance wise, but you can say that someone is an ugly person
Yeah,
inside as well.
you can. Yeah, I think it's maybe less common to do that than
Yeah,
in other languages, but
yeah.
you can sometimes. Yeah. So the next one we have is boring, which
Mhm.
is the opposite of fun.
Lovely.
So fun is just you enjoy something.
And the last one, of course, exciting, matches up with relaxing.
Mhm. And why is it relaxing and not relaxed?
So, relaxing is the adjective that we use to describe something else, whereas
Mm,
relaxed is to describe your emotions. So, anytime we have uh, an ed ending for an adjective, is usually the adjective that was used to describe your feelings or your emotions at the time. For example,
mhm,
I'm bored. This is your emotions. Or I'm excited. These are your emotions. I'm relaxed.
mhm.
Whereas if you say something is boring, something is exciting, something is relaxing.
Mhm.
You're describing another object or person.
Yeah, yeah, which is very, very useful to remember this
Yes.
ing ending for the
Mhm.
situation. Okay, and again, we won't spend very long on this, but you can use quite and really as a way to say something is strong or not so
Mhm.
strong. So it's really relaxing. There is a lot of emphasis, I am sure, that
Mhm.
it is relaxing. And quite maybe it's more minimal. It's not so relaxing. Um, like it's kind of relaxing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hmm.
All right. So the next one, then, we're talking about do you like it?
Hmm.
And so we use these different phrases, guys. I don't mind. I love. I hate. I quite like. I really like. These with um, the activities, I guess, that
Hmm.
you uh, are doing while you're
Yeah,
on holidays.
or the
So
place. Sometimes.
yeah, exactly. The place as well, absolutely for sure. The noun, or the if you're going to use it with an activity, you need to remember we use the ing form.
Hmm.
So very important to remember that
Yeah,
when writing it.
yes, I know that can be confusing with I like. So remember, I like is always with the ing form when it's a verb, when it's an activity.
Yes. For example, I
So,
like playing piano, or I
mhm,
really like watching television. I don't mind reading novels,
mhm,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
exactly. So these are all phrases to say what you prefer, or to talk about preferences, but they are not in the correct order at the moment. So we want to have the strongest and then the weakest, the less strong at the bottom.
Mm,
So if I show you the first one, for example, so you have I love. I am. This is really positive. I
yes.
really really like something.
Okay. So if I love is at the top of the list,
Hmm.
then the next one, then, as you said, I love is very similar to I really, really like it. So I guess the second one down would be I really like something.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, we have I quite like. So I like a little, I like a bit.
Hmm. The next one after that would be I don't mind something. Um, so for I don't mind, this is kind of like I have no opinion
Hmm.
on it really.
Yeah.
Um, I will do it. Uh, I will do it if everybody else is doing it, but it's not really my choice, my first
Hmm.
choice, maybe.
Yeah, there is no problem, but it's not very positive for me.
Mm. Yeah, this is always something that I find that my friends often say whenever we are trying to decide to do something. It's
Yeah,
always like, "Hey, so guys, which place do you want to go to tonight?" It's like, I don't mind. And you're like, "Oh,
yeah,
just make a decision."
I know. I think that happened to my friend and I when we wanted to choose a restaurant, or choose where to have dinner sometimes.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's very much a kind of I don't mind as we said earlier, a go with the flow attitude.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. So oh, we have Alfredo. Hey,
Oh,
welcome.
hi,
Thanks
Alfredo.
for joining us.
Perfect. So you can join us for the end of this activity. So we have just one answer remaining. We have I hate at the bottom. Very, very negative. I hate.
I
So,
hate. And very important to remember the emphasis on the H there. So I
mm,
hate. So
yes.
not I ate, because I ate
Mhm,
is the past tends to eat.
mhm,
Because if you say I hate sushi and I ate sushi, these are two
mm.
completely different things.
They are, yeah.
So very, very important to get the
Mhm.
pronunciation correct on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is kind of an example of
Mhm,
the structure of the typical kind of postcard that we would send to someone. So we have at the very top, dear or hi.
mhm,
So what do we call these types of phrases here? Dear, hi, hello.
mhm,
These are called greetings.
mhm,
So when you want to greet someone, you say, dear, for example, dear Alfredo, or hi Alfredo, if I'm writing a
mhm.
postcard to him. Uh, so it depends on who you're writing to, really, which one you use.
Yeah, so dear you can use for anyone, for any level of formality. So it can be a very formal letter or an email, or it can be to a friend. It's one of the
Hmm.
words that is very, very common for that reason.
Right.
Okay. And we have some questions. So we looked at some answers to these questions earlier. So you probably begin with where are you? You probably say first where you are so that someone can understand your opinions about the place. It may be obvious from the picture on the postcard.
Yeah.
Quite often it has the name of the place on it, the picture.
Yeah, there you go, Alfredo. Like I am currently. Where am I? This is a good question. My camera is not working, so I apologize. And
Yeah, very
that's a new one. Yeah,
normally
that's a new one.
it is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go first.
No, I was just saying it's very unusual because normally my camera is not working and yours is.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah. And I might just say another unusual thing is that another interpretation of my name today. This is great. So we had Chantal the other day.
mhm.
Chantal was a nice addition, whereas now we've got Chagall. So Chagall, Chantal, Cahill, we're
Chagall
all
is
gonna go on a holiday together.
a painter, I think. Chagall.
Chagall.
Pretty sure Chagall is a painter. I think my
Oh, okay.
yeah, my favorite though is Chattel. One time you were called Chattel.
Chattel is the guy.
Hmm.
What a guy.
Yeah, no, Alfredo. Carl has no camera today. There is no visual for him.
Yes,
But we
sorry.
can hear him still.
I know my face brings so much joy usually, but today, unfortunately, it's not going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So after you have written down where are you, who are you there, or why are you there? Sorry, who are you with?
Mhm.
What's it like? And if you like it, we have the end of the letter. So
Mhm.
the goodbye, I guess, or the finish, the end of the letter, where or the postcard, sorry, where we would say, um, I mean, love from or with love is usually something you send to like a partner or
Mhm.
like a family member. If you're sending it to a friend, we just say from.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we have a comment from Alfredo. Thank you. So I like hiking. So probably in the mountains, because it's not really one specific mountain. It's a series of them. So we use in the
Yes.
mountains, and that's great.
Well, very, very good. Very good. Yeah, there you go, Alfredo. Nice. Love from Roma. Sure, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
here we go. Just very quickly before we finish up, we can read an example postcard here. So we've got Dear Rob, I'm in Edinburgh with my family. I really like the castle and the pubs, of course.
Mhm.
We're staying in a small hotel. It's okay. I don't like Scottish food and I hate Scottish weather. It's
Mhm.
cold and rainy. I hope you're
Oh,
well. Love from Andrew. I mean, this is the typical Scottish holiday.
it is absolutely, yeah.
Mm,
So I just want to mention the last line. I hope you're well. So this is the very common expression that we use in writing, just to say, I hope everything is okay. I hope you're well. You often see this written down.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, unfortunately, it looks like we've
Mhm.
run out of time
Yeah,
today. But Alfredo, thank you very much for joining us, even though you came in a little late. But thank you so much anyway for contributing and writing your messages. It was great.
yeah, absolutely. Have a lovely day and weekend, and we'll see you
Yes.
soon.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.